Hello, my beautiful rays of sunshine. So I made the last video talking about what is yoga. And in that video, I talked a little bit about the 8 limbs of yoga and how asanas were only a small portion of that practice. And to think of yoga as like this octopus with 8 different limbs and 8 different parts of the practice. So today I thought I'd go over those 8 limbs of yoga. I'll post a picture up on the screen for my really visual learners about the 8 limbs of yoga. And I want you to think of it like a ladder. And the yamas being at the bottom, samadhi being at the top, and it all makes sense, hopefully, in a little bit, of goals to reach to get to the top. So the top, the 8th limb of yoga is samadhi. And I talked about that before. Samadhi is our liberation, our heaven on earth. It's what our goal is here in this lifetime as these divine beings in a human experience. So to me, samadhi is moments. I've definitely had moments in my practice where I've reached samadhi. I don't think it's a sustained period. I think as I get better and grow, the periods will become more often and longer. But samadhi to me is not a continual place. We don't continually stay in heaven on earth. We need the light and the dark. We need the dark to be able to appreciate the light, right? So I'll start with going over what the actual 8 limbs are, and then I'll go into a brief description of all of them for you, and hopefully it makes more sense for you at the end. So the first limb is yamas, or abstinence. The second limb is niyama, or observance. Third are the asanas, or the posture practice. Fourth is pranayama, which is our breath control or our breath work. 5 is pratyahara, which is withdrawal of the senses. 7 is dharana, which is concentration. 7 is dhyana, which is meditation. And then 8th is samadhi. Now, I want you to think of it as a ladder, but in no means do I think you have to absolutely nail down number 1, 2 to reach 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I do think very strongly that we need to at least be decently okay or a continual practice in 1 through 7 to actually reach samadhi, our heaven on earth. So let's talk about yamas. And this is all from my workbook from my instructor, Michelle Young, in my yoga certification course. And yamas are nonviolence, truthfulness, non-stealing, and non-greed. So I've talked about asteya and stealing, being aware of somebody's energy and not stealing that. This is part of the yamas. And basically yamas in a nutshell are just being a kind, good human being. So telling the truth, speaking your truth, making sure you're not trying to steal anybody's energy, physically trying to steal things. Those are your yamas. So that's basic human kindness, right? We start there. That's the bottom rung. Then niyamas are our second. They're purity, contentment, accepting, but not causing pain, study of spiritual books, and worship of God. So again, yoga is not a religious practice. Yoga is a spiritual practice. So your God can be whatever. There are some that might refute God. And again, it can be the universe. It can be Mother Nature, whatever you believe in. But I think we all can agree that there's something bigger than humankind, right? This earth, this universe has been around way longer than humankind. So to go outside and stare up into space, see the moon, see the sunset, see the sunrise, and think that we're the top dog is, to me, it's unrealistic. I do believe in God. I do believe in a bigger picture than us. And the niyamas is learning to surrender to that. And then find contentment in that, which is the second rung of the ladder. But that's a pretty heavy one, right? Some people spend their whole lives right there at just that. The third rung being the asanas, the posture practice. And the asanas are so important because they help bridge this gap between our mind, body, and spirit. And they kind of tie them all in together. Then there's pranayama, which is the breath control, breath work, being able to control your breath, helps you clear your mind, helps bring yourself back into the present, can help control your anxiety. Then there's sense withdrawal. This one's a little bit more difficult and it kind of builds you up into meditation. So who are you without your eyesight, or who are you without your hearing? And what that sense withdrawal causes you to withdraw from the outside external world and to go inward, right? Because we're an amalgam of everything that's ever been. We have all this knowledge inside of us, and that's what yoga is trying to like tap into that. So all this outside noise, this video here teaching you what yoga is, learning how to withdraw from that and go inward and tap into that ancient knowledge that we all already have inside of us. That is sense withdrawal, pratyaharana. Dharana is concentration, and that's hard for some of us, and that's part of the practice of being able to continually come back and do. It's showing up every day in a yoga practice of some form. It's being able to sit there and completely withdraw your senses and work on that, and that's how you build up to that samadhi. You're never going to reach samadhi without being able to give 100% of your concentration towards your practice. And I don't mean 100% 24/7. If you have 5 minutes, it's 100% towards that 5 minutes. That's your concentration. Then there's dhyana, which is meditation, which is huge. But I don't think you need to reach limbs 1 through 6 to be able to meditate. Meditation is a vehicle for us to get there from the beginning to the end, right? So meditation is reps every day of trying to reach samadhi. And I'll do a video later on how to meditate. Meditation has been super useful in my life as far as stress and anxiety and being able to manage that well. It also has helped me think much clearer and figure out my path, my values, and my goals. And then the 8th limb, of course, being samadhi, our liberation and our heaven on earth. So let me know if that was clear and if you have any questions.